Hey guys, welcome to episode 9. This is going to be about Men in Black International. I'm going to be joined by my guest Pri, and we're going to be going through the movie, what we liked and what we didn't like about this new spin off sequel for the Men in Black franchise. So stay tuned, it's going to be another magical show at the House of R.E.P. Okay, so here we are. Men in Black International. I want to welcome Pri, my guest. Pri, say hi to everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so tell me what you thought about this film. It's a spin-off of the original Men in Black franchise starring Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones. So this is Men in Black International. So I don't think Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones wanted to return for another one, so they switched gears and they created a new like spin-off with new characters. So we've got Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson returning. So what's going on is their chemistry from Thor Ragnarok. I think the studios thought that they made a pretty good pairing, so they wanted to recreate that magic. So Sony are basically coming on board. They've been sort of spearheading this franchise for a while, and they thought, you know what, we'll just go in another direction. So, Pri, what did you think of the movie generally? What did you like about it?
Well, what I've heard from other people and what I've read is like, I mean, the reviews are not that great, what other people have said. But me personally, when I saw, I mean, it was just a one time movie and it was like a good entertainment movie, I would say. I mean, Men in Black has always been good for, I mean, I really like Men in Black when Will Smith was doing it. It was great. And this was something different, like, with I mean, guns has always been great in all of them. But in this one, I like when they had that fight with those two aliens. I mean, don't you think those guns were amazing?
Oh yeah, they were really cool. So, production design wise, Men in Black has never been short of great special effects and practical effects. So the alien effects were decent. They could have been a little better with some of the characters, like they were a little bit, out there. So, there was a bit where Tessa Thompson's character M is walking along a tram line like a train. She takes a special train from New York to London, and there's like a weird bird that flies by her and a few other things.
But that
The
train was
the
good.
train was
That
great.
was like
I
it was
love,
like a twist.
yeah, I love all those things where they have transportation and super fast travel and stuff. So their cars, like in Men in Black International, Chris Hemsworth has a Jaguar instead of the Ford that Kay had, a Tommy Lee Jones character. So it's a nice touch. I mean, the film opens in Paris, and then they're trying to stop some alien race called the Hive from breaking through. So spoiler alert if you haven't seen the film yet, watch the movie, then listen to this podcast. I'm going to post spoilers on it as well. So, the acting by Chris is really great. Liam Neeson's excellent in it. Emma Thompson's returning in it as the new leader of the MIB, taking over from Zed. So that's decent. And then we've got Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones missing in action. Some of the supporting costs are good. They're not bad. The practical effects are amazing. The cinematography was very good for the film. There are a few skip beats that are a little bit, strange. So the script has some like weird kind of things, and the premise isn't that strong. So yeah, just these are my thoughts initially looking at the film. That it's a weak script with like a weak storyline and some weak characters, and the protagonists and antagonists are not really clear. They're trying to do a kind of like a mole in the MIB kind of thing, and that sounds good on paper, but it kind of doesn't work well in practice. So yeah, it's not bad. Pri, what did you think of all that? Like, what did you think of Chris Hemsworth's portrayal in the film? Was he good?
Well, Chris has always been acting in action movies. This is like one of the very few that I've seen him acting like more like a comedian type, which was a bit different. But yeah, he's a good actor. He's always been a good actor. He acted well here as well. I mean, the first half of the movie was great, as I mentioned before, like, with the gunfight with Fungus or with those two aliens. I mean, that was amazing. I like it. I even like the bike ride at Marrakesh. Was it at Marrakesh?
Yeah, it was in
Yeah, so the
Marrakesh.
bike was amazing. Oh, the funny part is that we spotted out, when they were using that, what is that?
Oh, the neuralizer. yeah. There
Yeah,
was like
there's
a strange plot hole, like where basically their MIB like that have gone rogue. They're gonna get captured. Basically, they're being framed for something, and then they start using a neuralizer, but they don't neuralize everybody. They just
yeah,
neuralize a few people
specific
in front of them,
people.
just as a little kind of like, oh, we're gonna use the neuralizer. And I thought that was a really stupid thing because it's like, okay, so you're flying this bike, this like motorcycle that can fly in Marrakesh. We're talking about hundreds of people that need to be neuralized. So
And they didn't neuralize any one of
yeah, so
them, only
I
specific.
think it was really strange, and so there's a lot of things in that film that break the rules of MIB. So it takes MIB and turns it less into a clandestine operation and more into an action kind of film. So what they were trying to do, they brought F. Gary Gray over, and he's a phenomenal director, by the way. The guy, I've been watching his stuff since, the early days when he was doing like Get Shorty, Sequel, Be Cool, and a few other great films like The Italian Job. He did an amazing job on that. So he's a very competent action director, and he can get a lot of action beats right. And then when he came on to Fast and Furious, the Fast and Furious that he did was really good. I like the kinetic action in it and the direction that he took with that one. The one with Hobbs being in prison and stuff, and Dom betraying them. So that one was a very good Fast and Furious. I thought it was a pretty decent one. Now, moving back to MIB, the whole point of the MIB is they're a clandestine, secretive organization that protects the world from alien threats and also hides aliens that live amongst us on Earth. So Tessa Thompson's character finds out about that. So it starts off very traditional, like a Men in Black film, but then it flies onto the verge of being like a Thor Ragnarok kind of sequel.
Only the first half was good. I mean,
Is
when I
that what you
told,
felt when you
yeah,
watched
the
it?
first half when I was watching the movie, I felt
Hmm.
like the first half was good, but the later half it was like kind of like,
Dragging along?
yeah.
So it's
Don't you
like
think?
you
What
would
you?
say like the second to last act was dragging on really badly. I would agree with that. I mean, the wondrous aspect of her character becoming an MIB agent is good, but then they try to recreate that kind of that kind of flamboyance and
But
coolness that
those,
Will
but
Smith had. Tessa doesn't have that same kind of vibe that Will Smith had because that whole flow was Will just being Jay, like turning this character Jay into, like this guy who's outside of the box. They were trying to recreate that a little too much, and I feel that Tessa Thompson's character should have been a bit different, and not just try to be a kind of like a Jay clone. It would be fun to see Tessa Thompson's M, Chris Hemsworth's H, and then K, Tommy Lee Jones' character, and Will Smith's character team up for another Men in Black sequel. So hopefully, if like the stars are aligned, they can do that one day. Hell, I would even do one with them. I think I could do a pretty good Men in Black film. Pri, so what else do you think about the movie? So, did you like Tessa Thompson's character of M? Was she a good lead?
I just realized Tessa Thompson has the same surname as Emma Thompson. Are they related?
No, yeah. Yeah, it's just like a similar name, Anglo surname.
Okay. How did you find
Yeah.
Emma Thompson?
She was very good. I think she's a very good actress. Very, very, very good actress. Rebecca Ferguson is another great actress from Mission Impossible, but she sort of just had this kind of bit role as this three-armed, merchant of death kind of character who Chris Hemsworth dated. So that was a bit strange. Strange surprise was seeing Kayvon Novak. If you don't know who Kayvon Novak is, he's the voice behind Phone Jacker and Face Jacker. He's a immensely talented comedian, and he was very funny as this character who has like a living beard. So it's him and a another guy who live together. They're like a team. So there's a little alien beard guy and him, and they lend their bike to Chris Hemsworth's character. So Kunal Najani, he plays a small guy called Pawnee, who's like this alien pawn chess piece kind of creature who becomes Tessa Thompson's kind of soldier, kind of like confidant, because he loses his queen. So yeah, and there's like these two guys who play these energies beings who they're called the Nexus or something like that. The Lorena Larry Borges, they're like two dancers. They play these guys who are basically trying to get a weapon from some guy. So one of Thing's friends. So this alien gets killed. They're trying to get the stuff. So yeah, it's really interesting. You got You got Liam Neeson playing T. Like he's one of the veteran MIB agents who looks after the London bureau of the MIB, and it was kind of very blatant that plot twist, that he was gonna be the villain.
You didn't realize when I told you what Liam was the bad
No,
guy.
I said to you.
No, I
No, no, no,
said
no, no, no. We
no.
did say we
No,
talked
no, no.
about
I
this.
said like I
I said
suspected.
I
You
suspect he
suspected the
is.
other guy.
Which other guy?
The other agent. I don't remember which
No,
one
no,
was
I
it.
said it was Liam
No, I
Neeson.
said like I think it's Liam, and you were like no,
No way,
and it
baby.
was Liam at
No,
the
I
end.
said it was
But I
Liam
don't
as
like the
well.
fact like
Yeah,
Liam's character wasn't there portrayed so much. It was
yeah.
only a little bit. I
Mm.
wanted more of Liam because I really like Liam character. You know that
I
Taken
agree.
movie?
He's a very good
He's a very
actor.
good actor, and
Very
he
good
should have
actor.
more character in it. But it was very less.
Uh,
It was more of those two actors, Tessa and Chris. Which,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like Liam had like a shorter kind of like character kind of arc, and I thought that we wanted to see more about what T was about and stuff, so that the end when he actually didn't defeat the Hive and was kind of being controlled by them, that plot twist that would have felt a little bit more earned. So he kind of sacrificed himself, similar to the way Qui-Gon kind of died in Star Wars Episode One. So it could have been a lot better, I think, that aspect of it. So, what didn't you really like about the film, or what did you really like? Pretty.
Well, first half was good, as I mentioned. Second half was a bit dragging. I mean, I wanted more of Liam to act in this movie, but I saw more of Chris and Tessa with the action. I mean, this isn't like a one-time movie that I would say, but it was entertaining. I wouldn't like grade them so low. What I've seen, what other people has been doing it.
Mm,
Emma is also a very good actor. I mean, and I like the alien thing. There's two guys, alien twin, like the way they react with the lightning. The way they were.
mm.
What was it that?
They
Was
were
that
made
like?
out of energy, so they were
Yeah.
able
So
to do
that
stuff.
was quite. That is a bit different, right, from other MIB. This is a bit
Yeah,
different
yeah.
and
It's
new.
because in the first film we had a kind of bug villain. He was a cockroach, essentially, like an intergalactic cockroach. They called them bugs. So he was looking for the galaxy. In the sequel, you have Carlina, who's some kind of plant-based, kind of Venus flytrap style villainess. And then in MIB3, you have a bone kind of organic based kind of starfish style villain in the other guy. So in this one, you've got someone who's, you got tentacle based parasitical kind of being with the Nexus. I think that's what they're called, the Hive, sorry. And then
Mhm.
you've got the Nexus, who are these energy based beings. So they try to pick villains and antagonists who have some kind of elemental essence that gives them a signature. So it's very interesting. I mean, I think the MIB franchise, from what it's evolved from the comic, it's become something quite broad and quite big, and there's a lot of room there to make like a television show. They made a Men in Black series, which was a really nice cartoon I used to watch in my youth. I liked that. That was quite a nice show. It was well drawn, the animation was really good, and the adventures were quite good. It was like the adventures of J and K outside of the movie. So I thought that was a pretty cool little cartoon. So I think that Men in Black going forward should probably have a series. It would be cool because then Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith could just pop in and out on limited engagements. If they didn't even want to like totally do it, and you could have a new cast at MIB doing stuff. So you could build a new team, a new cast. You could bring someone in like Kevin Hart, or just someone else to kind of round it up,
Kevin
make it
Hart will
fun.
be interesting.
Yeah, like if
He
Kevin
is
Hart's
super cool.
one of the comedic characters, and then you got another series. You got the straight man. You got Kevin Hart playing the comedic, foil. You got like another female character. Then you got the other another tech character, and you can round it off into a pretty cool quartet of characters that go around doing MIB stuff. So it's kind of like when Nick Cannon, he had a very small part in MIB two. Like MIB two, personally for me, is the weakest of the three. So if I would like rank them, it'd be MIB one, MIB three, because I like some of the bits in MIB three, and then MIB International, and then MIB two. MIB two is just for me the worst one out of the three. it just is lacking a lot of energy. It just feels like a phoned in kind of film. Nobody really wanted to do it. It lacks a lot of excitement and a lot of the kind of like great beats that the first film had. Is there anything you want to add pre to it? Like, the film?
I like the fact at the beginning when Tessa, how she saw that how her parents was been again, what is it,
Neuralized.
neuralizer, like
Mm.
how she tried to enter the MIB, like she applied every agent, like with the FBI and everything,
Mm.
and it was quite
Yeah.
cool. I like it, and the way she got a chance to go through that. What is that
It was
again?
like a hollow net, like kind
Yeah, so
of
that was
keeping
really
it safe.
nice. Well, what would you do if you get a chance to do that? What if the
Go
aliens
with it,
come
innit?
down?
Wouldn't you? Like,
Yeah.
go with the flow. I love that. I actually really believe that there's something out there. I feel that.
Would you like to be an alien or would you like to be an agent?
No, I'd be an agent. I'd love to talk to them and work with them. Like, if the MIB was ever real and it was this
Mm-hmm.
kind of benevolent type of organization and not this kind of Men in Black kind of secretive and deceptive and deceitful and evil organization that they try to portray in conspiracy theories. If these guys were really like this, if this agency really existed, then I'd jump at a chance to work for them because I just love sci-fi. I love extraterrestrial life. I'm a big fan of Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate, Farscape, all these great sci-fi shows where they show, like crazy alien characters, freaks,
So you
like
become
and
an
stuff.
agent.
Yeah, it would be so cool. I mean, I think it's so great. I mean, like space is so vast. We are such a small marble in this
Mm-hmm.
massive universe. It can't. They just can't be us. That's
Yeah.
all I got to say about that. I feel that there's a lot of room in this universe to play, and I think there's people out there. I think there's other humanoid type species. Perhaps they're the ones that are visiting us right now. These UFOs that we see, we might have like luminescent kind of energy based beings that we're not able to communicate in kind of like the kind of communication forms that we have right now, and they're probably the kind of like orbs and lights and ships that we see that are transluminant and effervescent when they fly around in the atmosphere and stuff. So it's really 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 it's really cool stuff, and this film used to really trigger that in me, that joy of there being alien life. And I think that that's what's really good about MIB. It's the enduring thing about the MIB that they'll always be there to protect humanity and Earth. So that's cool.
Rebecca was the bad guy girl, the bad character, was it?
Yeah, so Rebecca Ferguson came off of the successes of Mission Impossible, and she came on board to play this antagonistic character that Chris Hemsworth was dating, before he knew that she was an alien. So she has
But
an
don't you
additional
think the
arm.
bodyguard was like known to Tessa? That was quite really like so expect that is actually going to happen. There was no fighting, nothing.
Hmm.
It was very rare. You remember that part
Yeah, I
when
remember
Tessa connected
we
with
talked
that
about it.
alien?
We thought it was a little too convenient that he was there.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of expecting that that blue little alien would come back as a friend in another way. Like she would meet him at MIB or something, and he had become an agent, or he was working with the other aliens, and she meets him. But like the way in which he's just like a random bodyguard for this arms dealer lady just seems kind of strange, because from what the script says and what the character's backstory is that the aliens are quite peaceful when they're kids, but when they grow up they become very aggressive, so they become like brutish kind of violent individuals. So she harnessed that.
You
She
didn't
used
like the
it.
hairdo of Rebecca as well.
No, I hated that. I think she looked like a cake or something. Like it looked horrible. I don't know whose decision it was to give her that kind of raspberry ripple kind of
Raspberry
hairdo. It was like
Ripple.
really whack. It didn't suit her at all. Like it looked really strange. I think they were trying to basically make her look very different and out there, so you almost didn't recognize the casting. But Rebecca's got a very unique cadence and presence in her voice, so I could instantly tell it was her. And then her performance, as usual, was good, but her character had very little to do other than doing physical stuff. And it was a very, very wooden, very one-dimensional character for her. So the film's not without its flaws. It's not bad, but it's not the best. It almost feels like the studio thought that, you know what, let's get these guys together and try to recreate Thor Ragnarok, but it isn't the same. You know, the team behind that is a lot different than what we had here. So it's just a completely different formula and a different style. So it's not bad, but it could be a lot
So
better.
in the future, MIB comes back. Would you prefer with Will Smith or with Chris?
Definitely with Will Smith, because I feel that this is like his show and his kind of like thing. He really made Men in Black what it is. It was a mixture of his style and, the songs. Like the original Men in Black song was epic.
Yes,
The
I like
second
that.
song was horrible.
Which one
It
was the
was called
second
Black
one?
Suits Coming.
How was it?
It didn't even chart properly. It was so lame.
I
It was,
never
yeah.
heard the second one.
Yeah, it was like black suits coming, the black suits are coming. No,
Hmm.
I remember it like it was yesterday because I thought it was gonna be this big thing, but it just that song just didn't track like the first song, and he didn't even do a third song. That kind of tradition, that thing he wanted where he used to like smack out a song for every film he was in. That was kind of gone. So gone are the days of a Great Wild Wild West song, and yeah. Yeah, it could have been a lot better. It's funny you kind of miss them. You miss them being there when you're watching other
I mean,
people.
definitely, I would prefer Will Smith to come back. I mean, this is his movie, is his character. Whenever I think of Men in Black, is Will Smith popping out from my head.
Mm.
So this Men in Black International, as I mentioned before, is just a one-time
Mm.
entertaining movie. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't rate that bad. It was
Mm.
good overall.
What would you give it out of 5 shields?
Are we rating them now?
Yeah, let's rate it. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, well, I would say three.
Three.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Three.
rate that
Yeah,
bad.
I would give it a 2.5. It's good, but it's not the best. It's not my favorite Men in Black. So we'll definitely revisit the original ones. There's a lot of great memories in the first one, and I'd like to put them down on one of the next podcasts going forward, so you guys get a sense of what it felt like when we first watched that film. So yeah, Men in Black International gets an aggregated 3. And yeah, it's a nice attempt to do something different in the Men in Black franchise. We'd recommend the viewing, but it has very little replay value, and also there are a lot of script issues, plot points that aren't fully explored, and it feels slightly rushed in certain aspects and moments. And F. Gary Gray did a great job. He did the best he could with what he had, so it's competently shot, well directed, and the production design, cinematography, stunt work, prop design, these pieces and elements of the show are really good. The CGI is decent, for a Sony film. I mean, their CGI is not always like the best compared to ILM. It's a very high standard, but ILM are still the top dog. So, it's really cool. It's really good stuff. So it's good to see them still, keeping this franchise alive. I want to see more Men in Black films. I want to see the guys team up. What else do you think, Pri?
Will Smith come back for the next one?
Yeah, so that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this podcast. I want to thank you guys for joining us out there, our listeners. I want you to keep safe during the COVID-19. Our thoughts are
Stay
with you,
safe.
and I want to thank Pri for joining me on this podcast. It's always great to have you, love, on the show. And yeah, so stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next episode of the House of Rep.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everyone.